Big Ten hockey is here on WCBN Sports as the 14th ranked Michigan Wolverines take on the 3rd ranked Wisconsin Badgers in the first game of this home series at Yost Ice Arena. Welcome everybody, Jake Singer alongside Vihaan Easwar. So glad to have you all along as we get you ready for Michigan hockey right here on WCBN Sports. Last weekend was a strong but disappointing showing for the Maize and Blue, blowing out Michigan State in the first game of the series 7-1, but coming up just short to the Spartans on the road in the second game, blowing a 4-1 lead in the second period to eventually lose 7-5. Currently, Michigan sits 5th in the Big Ten standings with 15 points. Vihaan, really quickly, what did you see last weekend from Michigan against the Spartans?
I think last weekend's series was pretty emblematic of how things have gone for them this year so far. The talent is there, and yes, they score goals, but at the same time, there are major inconsistencies and lapses in defense that's caused them to just split so many series and just lose closely against quality opposition.
The Wolverines look to rewrite the narrative tonight against the 3rd best team in the nation, Wisconsin, coming into the contest on an 11-game unbeaten streak, which includes 10 straight wins and a tie, most recently to Lindenwood. In that span, Wisconsin won 9 of those 10 games by 3 goals or more. Who concerns you the most right now for the Badgers?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I think there's a lot of scorers on this team. Most notable is sophomore Cruz Lucius, who's got 22 points. You've also got Ben Dexheimer with 19, Simon Tassi with 19. But I also want to call attention to their goalie, Kyle McClellan, who's allowing a national best 1.67 goals against and a .939 save percentage with 6 shutouts.
As we get underway here in Yost Ice Arena, Wolverines in their white uniforms tonight, Wisconsin in their red. As D. St. Philip, quick shot on Barcheski, which is saved as we just get started here at Yost.
And this is something you're going to notice from this Wisconsin team. They're a physical team. They cut off spaces. They move quickly. They're very well disciplined.
I completely agree. Your starters tonight, Rucker McGroarty, Frank Nazar III, Gavin Brindley, Tyler Duke, and Seamus Casey are the starters for the Wolverines. For the Badgers, Cruz Lucius, as you just said, David Sila, Matthew D. St. Fall, Kyle McClellan, Sawyer Scholl, and Tyson Dick are the starters for the Badgers. As we have a face-off now in the Wolverine zone, Sila and Frank Nazar are going to take the face-off here. 19:41 left in the first period. Sila wins the face-off. Quick shot by D. St. Fall for the Badgers, and the Wolverines are able to finally control the puck. Gavin Brindley sends it around the boards. All the way back to Kyle McClellan, the goaltender for Wisconsin. McClellan, one of the best goaltenders in the country. McClellan currently leads the nation in every major statistical category for all goaltenders. 17 victories, 1.67 goals against average, a .939 save percentage, and 6 shutouts on the year for Kyle McClellan.
But to counter that, the Wolverines have scored, are averaging 4.68 goals per game. That's one of the best tallies in the nation. If anyone's a match for McClellan, it is this Michigan. It is these Michigan lines, especially McCroarty, Nazar, Brindley, and T.J. Hughes.
I completely agree about that. There's some fighting behind Barcheski, the goaltender for the Wolverines, before the Wolverines control the puck. Garrett Shifsky now sends it all the way down to the boards, or McClellan sends it around to Dexheimer for Wisconsin. Michigan steals it right back, though. Garrett Shifsky going in right side. He has a shot, and he misses just right. Garrett Shifsky takes his own rebound, though, and sends it to Luca Fantilli, who sends it around the boards once again to Duke. Back to Fantilli. Tried to get a tip-in shot. Cannot do anything. Marshall Warren gets a rebound. Another shot chance there by Ernesti for the Wolverines. Luca Fantilli at the top of the zone. Almost goes in, but it's quickly saved by Kyle McClellan. McClellan grabs back right behind him and puts his glove on it. And we are underway here in Yost Ice Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing you'll notice about this Wolverines team is that they do play very high. Even in defense, you'll see their defensemen, like Seamus Casey, like Ethan Edwards, just really get up there. They're going to rack up a lot of points on the stat sheets. That's caused significant amounts of defensive vulnerability for them this year, but it's also made them a team capable of scoring goals from anywhere on the rink.
Estapa wins the faceoff, but it's quickly taken now by Wisconsin. Philip LaPointe, quick shot for Michigan, who took it right back.
If you're watching the game, you'll notice that Wisconsin do play very close to the back and tend to defend as a unit of 5. This is something that Michigan has struggled with a bit this year, and it shows Wisconsin are a very disciplined, very organized team.
Seamus Casey, 2 shots on goal there. Michigan really controlling the puck early as Seamus Casey takes it right back. He's a 3-on-1 opportunity, quick shot, and it goes up and wide just for a second. Puck bouncing around right in front of McClellan, and Wisconsin is able to regain control of the puck for a second. Dick has it now going in left side, and he sends it around the boards to Barcheski of the Wolverines. Moldenhauer now has it for Michigan. Big shot there that Tyler Duke took against the Badgers bench. Puck is now just circling the center line before it's sent in by Keenan Draper. 17:09 left here in the first period.
So far, very end-to-end type game. You're not going to see a lot of action happening in the center. It's going to be in each team's halves.
William Whitelaw has it now for Wisconsin. Sends it down to Scholl for the Badgers. Scholl gets it to Dick. Dick shot on goal there to Barcheski, which is easily saved. Sends it out now to Gavin Brindley for the Wolverines. Brindley moving in left side now, weaving his way through the defense. He has Ethan Edwards, quick shot, and that's glove saved by Kyle McClellan. Michigan's 4th shot on goal with only just less than 4 minutes here to start in the first period. 0-0 is still our score.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people expected this game to be quite fast-paced off the bat. Both teams really trying to get at each other. That's exactly what's happened. As I said, it's being played end-to-end. Not a lot going on in the center.
As Michigan has a full line change. So Luca Fantilli, Ethan Edwards, Dylan Duke, and Marshall Warren and Garrett Shifsky are the guys on the ice right now for the Maize and Blue. Wisconsin wins the faceoff, tries to get it inside. Nice defense, though, by Luca Fantilli. Cruz Lucius is trying to control the puck for Wisconsin. Padla sends it back to Cruz Lucius, which is now taken away by Dylan Duke before it's quickly back taken away by Dexheimer. Lucius trying to prevent the offsides. Nice defense by Luca Fantilli. Still gets it to Scholl. Scholl trying to get it to Schultz, and that's going to be a glove save by Barcheski. Schultz took a shot from the top of the left side of the zone, and now we have some fighting going on. 4 Wolverines, 2 Badgers against the boards before the referees skate in to break it up.
Yeah, and I just want a quick aside about Jake Barzewski. I think he and Noah West differ as goalkeepers in that Barzewski is a more involved, more athletic goalkeeper. He's a little more courageous when it comes to venturing outside of his goal, and we'll see what kind of impact that has on the Wolverines tonight, as West has played some solid games in recent memory.
So we have another face-off here in the Wolverine zone. Fitzgerald for the Badgers, Frank Nazar for the Wolverines. Fitzgerald briefly wins the face-off and just quickly sends it against the boards. Ricochets to Barcheski, the Wolverines goaltender, who covers it up. We'll have another face-off here. 15:57 left in the first period. Wolverines and Badgers tied 4 shots apiece through 4 minutes of play here. Fitzgerald wins another face-off. Back to Schultz now. Sending it over to Mike Verlicki, the captain of the Badgers. Schultz gets it right back, top of the zone. He sends it around the boards to Fitzgerald. Tries to get it inside to his teammate, Simon Tassi. And Tassi can't do anything with it. Rucker McGroarty tries to get out of the zone. Seamus Casey retreating with a second with the puck to Nazar. Gavin Brindley sends it all the way around the boards, left side to right, trying to get it to McGroarty. McGroarty sends it all the way back, and Mike Verlicki gets bodied against the boards by Gavin Brindley. Finley now, the freshman, comes in with it to Tassi, left side. Tassi has a man open on the right side, tries to get a shot deflected and cannot. Finley had a hat trick last time out against Lindenwood for the Badgers. As Ernestine now just gets rattled in the middle of the zone. Some really hard hits we're seeing early on in Yost. Now Wisconsin has a fast break. Horbach tries to get it inside to, I believe, Owen Lindmark, and Lindmark can't control the puck. Latch sends it all the way around. But Philip Lapointe is right there for the Wolverines.
As physicality ramps up, I just want to quickly note that Michigan is the best power play team in the country.
They are correct.
Something that could swing their advantage if this game gets a little more battering.
Shot on goal by Jack Horbach. A nice defense there by Ethan Edwards. Edwards missed a lot of time this season with an injury. Another shot on net there by Dexheimer. And Michigan gets it all the way out of the zone, but it's going to go all the way down to the Wisconsin goalie, who holds it for just a second for his teammate, Padletichuk. What a name that is. We have a stoppage of play. Believe it's going to be an offsides call on the Badgers, so we're going to have another face-off here. 13:54 left in the first period. Nothing is still our score. So we're going to have a face-off center ice here, actually. TJ Hughes against Stoll of the Badgers. My apologies. It's Sila, actually, who wins the face-off, sends it to Schultz. Holtz bodies Lucius of the Badgers, and Marshall Warren takes the puck for the Wolverines behind Barcheski. Nice deflection there, though, by Wisconsin, trying to take away for a second. Now Wolverines have a fast break opportunity. Dylan Duke tried to look for Hughes, but Shifsky's right there for the goal! Garrett Shifsky, cleanup duty with the one-timer. And the Wolverines lead 1-0. 13:32 left here in the first period. On the deflection, Dylan Duke trying to get it inside to TJ Hughes, misses him as it goes off a skate of Schultz. But Garrett Shifsky is right there on the right side to get it right past Kyle McClellan for the goal.
And that just shows just how good the Wolverines are in transition. They're just so good at getting those numbers up there. Just, you know that with the amount of talent they have, the way they're able to move together to the other half easily, you just know that it's going to be a goal.
Beautiful work there by the Wolverines. A lot of momentum so far in this first period. And Michigan capitalizes early against the number 3 team in the country and one of the best goalies in the country. Beautiful find there also by Dylan Duke on that goal, really making things happen. Had 2 guys he could have gone to, and even with the deflection, Garrett Shifsky was right there for the goal. Wisconsin has it now. Trammell tries to shoot it, but that's going to be glove saved by Barcheski. As you can hear, the children of Yost really getting into it now. We got a packed house here in Yost Ice Arena on a Friday night in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Vihaan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think against a team like Wisconsin, my bad, you score quickly because their defense will lock down later on in the game. You get the momentum on your side, you get your numbers up there, you take any chance you can to score, that's going to go a long way for you.
Wolverines win the face-off here. Philip Lapointe has it now before he gives it away to Padletichuk, who sends it all the way around the boards. Lapointe tries to get it out of Michigan zone. Padletichuk is there, tries to get it to his teammate, goes off his skate. That's Trammell. And the puck trickles all the way back behind Kyle McClellan, the goaltender. Wisconsin gets out of its zone, though, but Ethan Edwards sends it right back in right side, tries to stop himself, looking for someone. He finds someone. Moldenhauer, the freshman, with the shot, and it just misses off of the blocker of Kyle McClellan. Wolverines really pouring it on now on the goaltender.
Yeah, and I think that move from Ethan Edwards to get himself up there and play a more facilitating role just shows the way that Michigan cleverly used their defensemen in attack. For example, I believe Seamus Casey is one of the top point scorers on the team.
Marshall Warren trying to get it inside to Rowe of the Wolverines, who misses, but Wolverines have it right back, trying to wraparound shot now for Rowe. He misses once again. Rowe gets it back a third time, against the boards on the left side before he gets bodied into the boards. Nice check there by Mike Vorlicki. He's been very active early. But now Michigan retaliates right back. TJ Hughes hitting Vorlicki against the left boards. Schultz moves inside, and his stick completely breaks in half. Rowe just got in the way of it, and he has to quickly skate off the ice. 11:27 left here in the first period. Wolverines lead 1-0. 2-on-1 opportunity for Wisconsin, and that gets deflected and goes up wide. Fitzgerald quickly trying to shoot the puck. It gets deflected by the Wolverine defense, and we have a stoppage of play.
Yeah, and I'm going to take this stoppage to just quickly pull up a graphic reiterating some information that we've already known for a while, but it just goes to show Michigan, they did split their latest series. They're averaging 4.68 goals a game. They're the #1 power play in the nation, and most importantly, they are undefeated when they lead after the first period.
That is completely right about that. They have about 11 minutes and 21 seconds to maintain their 1-goal lead, possibly add to it, but obviously Wisconsin ranked 3rd in the country for a reason. Wisconsin wins another face-off. Sila has the puck. Another one-timer for Cruz Lucius. But he misses. Seamus Casey gets the puck now, getting it to Tyler Duke, who sends it all the way into the stands, and oh my gosh, it hits a few fans, missing the net. There's nothing blocking the stands, so when Tyler Duke sent that all the way around the boards, it ricocheted, it hit a few people. It appears everyone is okay before landing in the family section of the Wolverines players, so hopefully all those parents are okay over there. Nonetheless, we have a face-off here. Wisconsin winning the face-off. Lucius getting it to his teammate who misses wide. Dexheimer with the shot. And now we have a tripping call here on Michigan. Tyler Duke sends Cruz Lucius down on the deck. And so Duke will have to sit, and we're going to get our first power play of the night here at 10:52.
Yeah, and like I said, Michigan with that 36.6 power play conversion percentage, it just goes to show, I think, the way this team moves in attacking formations is just very interesting, because I already mentioned that point about the defensemen being used in such an advanced role, and it just goes to show that defense for Michigan, I think, is more played in terms of attack and just kind of keeping the puck in the opponent's half as much as possible, trying to make them uncomfortable.
Now Wisconsin will have a chance on the power play here. They win the faceoff. Padla to Chuck has it top of the zone. Tries to get it to a teammate who misses wide. That's Christian Fitzgerald, but now Frank Nazar is going in. 3-on-1, though. He was the disadvantaged man, and he just has to send it down, trying to waste some time here on the 2-minute power play kill. Wisconsin trying again. Fitzgerald now. Some stick fighting until two Wolverines run into each other. There's a shot there by Fitzgerald, and he just misses. Nice save there by Barcheski. That could have been disaster as Jacob Truscott and Ernesi of the Wolverines run into each other in the defensive zone for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and that there I think is a really good example of Barcheski's more athletic and more aggressive goalkeeping. He sort of tilts his entire body to his right, to his left, and sort of just keeps the shot out.
Completely, as we get a full line change here for the Wolverines. We have a possible opportunity here. Michigan has the puck now, left side of the zone. Keenan Draper sends it back out to Warren. Warren sends it now back to the right side and wastes some more time. 52 seconds left here on the power play for the Badgers. Sila to Lucius. Nice stick work there by Lucius. Gets the puck right back, trying to get it to Dexheimer as he gets the puck now back. To St. Paul tries to get it. Wolverines try to clear it. It does get deflected, but out of the zone. Keenan Draper doing his best on defense. Sila now moving in left side. He gets checked along the boards by Stephen Holtz, and now Marcus Stoppa can send the puck all the way back down along the boards, all the way back to Kyle McClellan, and there's only 17 seconds left here on the power play. Great kill right here for the Wolverines.
Right, and I think I'd like to give Stephen Holtz a lot of credit for doing what he did on that power
Scholl,
play.
sorry to interrupt you there, but there was a quick shot opportunity for Wisconsin as we have no more time left here on the power play, and Michigan is able to kill it. Gavin Brindley is moving in now right side, gets it to Rucker McGroarty left side. McGroarty tries to send it inside, and that gets deflected there by Latch of Wisconsin. Michigan had a possible scoring opportunity there. Gavin Brindley trying to get it to McGroarty, but McGroarty gets hit from behind by Mike Vorlicki. and it gets back inside to Wisconsin. We have a stoppage of play. Vihaan, I apologize for interrupting you. Please continue.
Yeah. What I was saying was I think a lot of credit for that penalty kill goes to Stephen Holtz. I think he really just sort of trailed his marker and just sort of locked things down. He isn't the most physically imposing, but I just think the way he utilized the pressure that he had and created that kind of space, or I should say locked down that kind of space, was just so important in that defensive kill.
I completely agree with you as we have our first stoppage of play here, first timeout, 8:28 left here in the first period. Vihaan, Michigan leading 1-0. Let's fully dissect that goal right there. What did you see from Dylan Duke getting it to obviously Garrett Shifsky and getting in the back of the net?
Yeah, and I think Shifsky is both a goal scorer, but I think he's also one of the best facilitators on the team. I think he's just really good at just sort of supplying things. I think he gets into position quite well. He usually sort of occupies that kind of niche, like a little outside of the main source of action, and I think he's just good at finding those unguarded spaces to operate in.
I completely agree.
Again, he's not the most powerful shooter, but at the same time he shoots with efficiency. I think where he excels is just finding that little, I'm going to say it's like that little left-hand corner, left of the goal, where he just sort of operates and will just find the right spot to take the shot.
Garrett Shifsky with that goal, his 11th on the season, moves into number 4 on the team in goals. This is his 20th point as well. So Garrett Shifsky now has 11 goals, 9 assists on the season. So you're completely right. He's also shooting at an unbelievable over 200 shot percentage mark. So 1 in 5 shots he's taking, he's scoring. So he's definitely been very efficient this season in his freshman year.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a Michigan team that has struggled a little bit with the efficiency. They do take a lot of shots, and while they're able to score, you do get the impression that they do waste a lot of the shots they take. There's a lot of players on this team that operate with, I should say, not necessarily ideal efficiency at times, but at the same time, they're just able to create such a high volume of shots that it ends up not mattering.
As we resume play here, Wisconsin moving inside, but nice stick work there actually by Barcheski to deflect it. That was Finley going inside with the shot attempt. Frank Nazar fighting with Anthony Kerr of Wisconsin, and Kerr does win that matchup, getting the puck for just a second. But we have a lot of puck movement going on along the boards by the Michigan and Wisconsin player benches. 7:41 left here in the first period.
And I think it's interesting that you noted clashes along the boards. That isn't something that I've seen a lot of today. I think neither of these teams are content to necessarily defend. They want that puck in the center. They want it in action because they both know that they're going to try and score off deflections.
Completely agree, as we have an icing call here on Wisconsin, so Michigan will get a face-up opportunity in the offensive zone. TJ Hughes taking the face-off for the Wolverines. Anthony Kerr for the Badgers. TJ Hughes wins the face-up opportunity, but Seamus Casey just sends it along the boards, and it's taken back by the Badgers. Lindmark moves inside for the Badgers with a shot attempt. Misses, gets his own rebound. Misses once again. Now the Wolverines are trying to control the puck for a second. Garrett Shifsky tries to get it out of the zone, but Lindmark is there before TJ Hughes along the boards. Padla to Chuck, though, sends it into the Wolverine goalie Barcheski. And now Seamus Casey finally can control the puck, gets it to his teammate Duke, and TJ Hughes is able to clear it so the Wolverines can have a change in line shift. 6:41 left here in the first period. Badgers leading 11 shots to 7, yet the Wolverines have that 1-0 lead off the Garrett Shifsky goal. A lot of stuff going on behind the net by Kyle McClellan. Luca Fantilli trying to keep it inside for a second. Sends it along the boards to LaPointe. LaPointe going back and forth with a Badger. I believe that is Padla to Chuck. And finally, the puck gets out of the offensive zone for a second until Ernesi is there and gets it to Marshall Warren, who quickly goes to the bench, and Michigan has another full line change. Yeah,
and Wisconsin has actually outshot Michigan by a fairly significant margin. They've taken 11 shots. Michigan has taken 7. And while McClellan hasn't necessarily been troubled, Michigan have taken their shots when it was necessary, whereas Borzewski has, I think, had to do a lot more work, I think, owing to the styles of defense that Michigan and Wisconsin both tend to play.
I agree. I also think a few of those shots that Wisconsin took were pretty easy ones for Barczewski, whereas it appeared that a lot of the shots Michigan has taken tonight have been really strong scoring opportunities. And one obviously found the back of the net. Moldenhauer tries to send it along the boards, but it goes out of play at 5:17, and we're going to get another face-off here. Both teams have full line changes, though, before we get the chance for the face-off. Wolverines put their first line in. Wisconsin goes with its third. Frank Nazar against Christian Fitzgerald. Nazar wins the face-off. Seamus Casey along the boards right side before it bounces to Anthony Kerr. But quickly, Rucker McGroarty takes it right back, tries to find Gavin Brindley, but it gets deflected. Michigan another opportunity here. Seamus Casey right side. Slap shot almost has Rucker McGroarty. If that one found him, that was going to be a goal for McGroarty. Michigan another opportunity. McGroarty gets his own rebound. Back to Seamus Casey, sending it all the way to left side. That's Tyler Duke. Duke now moving in behind the net. Back to the right side now, looks for Seamus Casey, top of the zone. Back to Rucker McGroarty. McGroarty sizing up his matchup, and it's finally glove saved by Kyle McClellan. That was a few scoring opportunities once again for the Wolverines, and we finally have a stoppage of play here at 4:36.
Yeah, I think it's been a very quick first period, and that owes to just the constant back and forth movement of these teams. And also just Mike Hastings emphasizes a disciplinary style, and so does Brendan Dorado, and I think that's come to play here. Both teams have not necessarily been reckless or egregious with their hits. They haven't been afraid to get physical, but
I agree with that. Both teams very physical tonight, checking each other along the boards. As we saw Luca Fantilli hit the deck. Bantle with the shot. Goes wide on Barczewski. Padla to Chuck. Gets it to his teammate. Dexheimer, who took 2 shots, both deflected off of Wolverine skates. And Dexheimer skates all the way back now to his own zone to try to get the puck for the Wisconsin before Michigan takes it right back. Dylan Duke just sends it all the way into the Wisconsin zone so he can go to the bench. Lucius does the exact same thing now for Wisconsin. Ethan Edwards getting it all the way to LaPointe. LaPointe looking for someone. No one's there, though, and he just has to send it along the boards as well. 3:40 left here in the first period. Wisconsin trying to make something happen. Lucius to David Sila. There's a lot of bodies flying. Sila loses a glove and his stick for a second till Marcus Estapa now comes out with it for the Wolverines. Back to Philip LaPointe. Estapa's right in front of Kyle McClellan. And Ernesi tries to keep the puck in as the puck keeps rattling around the boards. And we even had Sila get bodied right against the Wisconsin bench as well until Lucius sends it in for a very long time on the ice so he can hit the bench as well. 2:57 left here in the period. Moldenhauer trying to get it to Rowe, who sends it now to Draper. Quick shot on net. That goes off the boards. Another shot taken by Tyler Duke, and that goes wide as well. Wolverines really piling it on. We said Wisconsin led 11-7 on shots. It's now 11-10. Seamus Casey moving inside. Some nice stick work there. Moldenhauer tries to clean up duty and is not successful. But Rucker McGroarty now has another shot at it going in right side. Quick slap shot by Frank Nazar, and that goes wide. That had a lot of power on it for the Wolverines. 2:15 left here in the first period. Michigan really taking control of offensive pressure here in this period until Wisconsin finally is able to just get the puck out of the Michigan zone, and they do a full line change here. McGroarty now with Fitzgerald along the boards right side. Tries to get into Brindley, who's behind Kyle McClellan. Dexheimer and Brindley are fighting for the puck before Wisconsin takes it right back. Simon Tassi trying to now get around Marshall Warren, who cannot. Fitzgerald tries to be there as well, but Luca Fantilli and Frank Nazar are able to work together to get the puck out of the zone. Dylan Duke now moving in. It's a 1-on-3. He just kind of shoots it pretty softly to Kyle McClellan, who makes a glove save, and we get another stoppage of play here. 1:23 left in the first period.
Yeah, and I think Michigan and Wisconsin are sort of evening in shots, although I wouldn't really necessarily say that there was a lot of quality in those shots that Michigan took. I think it was a fair few slap shots, I think.
As we have a few changes here once again. Wolverines win the faceoff. 1:21 left here in the first period. Truscott has the puck right along the Michigan bench. Now we get a lot of fighting going on. Marcus Stoppa is able to come up with it to Josh Ernesi, and Ernesi sends it in right behind Kyle McClellan. 1 minute remaining here in the first period. Wolverines still lead 1-0 in Vihaan. As you said, Michigan is undefeated this season, or unbeaten, I should say, if they lead after the first period. But Wisconsin trying to make something happen here. Lucius has the puck now inside the zone, gets it to his teammate, Jack Horbach, but it goes out of the zone. Vorlicki cannot come up with it, and 35 seconds are only now remaining here in the period. Lucius tries to take a quick shot, but Matthew De La Fall was right there in the way. TJ Hughes trying to get it all the way inside the Wisconsin zone now before it's taken from by Anthony Kerr. Wisconsin going the other way with it. Quick shot on net by David Sila, and that's glove saved by Barcheski. 10 seconds, .9 remaining here in the first period.
Yeah, and I think even Barcheski hasn't necessarily needed to use a lot of his body, a lot of his athleticism to make those saves because, again, Wisconsin have taken a fair few slap shots. I think both teams have because I think both teams just really do want to get on the scoreboard and both teams want to hold on to the momentum.
I completely agree with all that, Vihaan. Frank Nazar and Christian Fitzgerald take the face-off. Nazar wins just for a second, but Padlichuk takes it right back. Shot goes just left of Barcheski, but it comes right back to him, and Barcheski covers that up. 3.7 seconds now in the first period.
Yeah, and
as we're probably going to get one face-off. Wisconsin wins this face-off. They might take one quick shot here, but Wolverines obviously don't have a chance to take a shot on net for the rest of the period. Nazar does win the face-off, goes behind Barcheski, and Seamus Casey lets the puck go all the way down, but he gets checked right as the buzzer sounds, and we have some fighting going on along the boards at the end of the period. Seamus Casey just tried to take the puck for 3 seconds, which he did successfully, until two Wisconsin players checked him along the boards as the buzzer sounded, and the Wolverine players were not happy about that. Rucker McGroarty and Frank Nazar came right in to defend Seamus Casey, and that's going to be it for the first period. Wolverines 1, Wisconsin 0, as Wisconsin leads the Wolverines 12 shots to 11. Nonetheless, Wolverines have the advantage going into the second period. V, I'm just going to ask, first of all, what are your overall thoughts? How do you see Michigan come out here and play the number 3 team in the country?
I think they did pretty much everything you could ask them to do. I think you could have very easily been conservative in a game against a team that hasn't lost in more than 2 months, but they immediately came out. They came on the offensive. I mentioned the fact that they don't really play against the boards a lot in this game. They just, as much as possible, tried to keep the game in the center, in the other team's half, in Wisconsin's half. I think they showed a very ambitious approach there, and I also think they blended that ambition with some degree of efficiency and conservatism when it came to taking shots. I think Michigan did generally take significantly cleaner shots than Wisconsin, and I think they definitely wait to let things build a little more compared to Wisconsin, who seemed a little more reckless to just get the puck off.
Yes, I do agree with that. I was just going to ask you that next question. What does Wisconsin really need to do to kind of come back here and obviously take and tie this game and obviously take the advantage against the Wolverines.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a question of patience. I think they just need to stay away from the slap shots. I think it seems like they're playing at a distance from the goal is something that I've noticed, and I definitely think if they just sort of went in and really closed that gap, it would result in significantly better results attackingly. But as of right now, if they continue to shoot from distance, I'm not sure how their efficiency is going to improve.
I completely agree. Sorry, as the Michigan football beat writer for Maize and Brew, I just got word that Sharon Moore was hired as the head coach of the Wolverines, so I'm now simultaneously doing 2 jobs at once, trying to break that story while simultaneously calling this game, so thank you, Vihaan. For Michigan, though, Garrett Shifsky got the goal, but there was a lot of guys in that first period that really took control. We saw guys like Gavin Brindley, Marcus Stoppa, Ethan Edwards getting really active on the defensive side of the puck as well. What did you see from the Michigan Wolverines in that first half, and who really stood out to you?
Yeah, I think I'll throw in one more name that you didn't throw in, and that's Nick Moldenauer. I really, really like his confidence. I just really like the way he approaches the net, just sort of really dives right in there. He dives into challenges. He doesn't necessarily shy away from things, and I think it's proven in the fact that he took some shots, not necessarily ones that went in, but at the same time, he got on the attack. He was bold. He mixed things up, and I think while he didn't get on the sheet, I definitely think him getting in there and sort of drawing away attention with those challenges is something that really helps that Wolverines offense flow.
I completely agree. You've really seen a lot of great work by these freshmen this year. As every year with the Michigan Wolverines, you have so much turnover. You have so many guys going to the NHL. You have so many new freshmen coming in and playing some big minutes. And while a lot of them were highly touted recruits, guys who've had a lot of experience under their belts playing, semi-pro junior hockey as well in a lot of different places, it's very hard to get acclimated to college hockey at times. And you've really seen from the last 3 or 4 years, this Michigan Wolverines team hasn't really gotten to its full potential until at this point in the season. Once they come back from the World Juniors, once the guys have a lot of hockey under their belt, they see the competition they've played that are not just college kids but also guys from other countries. And now, as you're saying, Nick Moldenauer, Garrett Shifsky, even guys like Marco McGorty, Gavin Brindley, Frank Nazar, guys who have now played at the highest of the high levels they possibly could have played it that's not the NHL, are really coming back here to Ann Arbor and are putting on some great performances.
Yeah, and since you mentioned the McGorty-Brindley duo, there hasn't been too much to talk about them in this game, but I think a big appeal of their game is the fact that maybe they aren't necessarily stamina guys, they aren't guys who are there for every single series, but when you get them on there, I think their connection is just enough to create magic whenever they're actually on the court and really getting in.
I completely agree, Vihaan. It was great doing the first period with you. We are going to take a 5-minute break here just to get some water, rest our voices, and we're going to get back right here in the second period with myself and Eddie Olenichek, and then finally Vihaan will be back on the third period doing play-by-play. So thank you all for listening to WCBN Sports for hockey. Stay right there. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to WCBN Sports. Jake Singer here alongside Vihaan Easwar for the second period of Michigan hockey as they're taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. Michigan leading 1-0 after one here in Yost Ice Arena. That one goal coming off of Garrett Shifsky around the 11-10 mark in the first period. Off a deflection, Dylan Duke sending it to him, and it was a beautiful goal on goaltender Kyle McClellan, one of the best in the country. Vihaan, I know we discussed it a little bit before the period, but going into the second period, what does Michigan need to do to keep their foot on the pedal and stay aggressive over Wisconsin?
Well, I think if Michigan just does more of the same, I think if they continue just really putting pressure on McClellan and putting pressure on the Wisconsin defense, I think they'll be able to just keep it up. I think once again just continue to stay strong in transition. It hasn't been an issue today. I think when they turn over the puck, they get it back quickly, and they're good at keeping things away from the back or from the boards. And I think if they just keep those up, I think if they just play the game just in and around the center, I think that's going to fall their way.
I completely agree with you. I think they were very aggressive in that first period, which I really like to see from the Wolverines. Every time they gave up the puck, they were right back, just getting it right back, and not just having one scoring opportunity on offense. They were creating multiple scoring opportunities every single time they entered the Wisconsin zone. And then on defense, I think they were playing a lot of really prominent shots that Wisconsin took. A lot of them were very easy saves by Rachesky, and Michigan was staying disciplined, and they weren't over-pursuing because these guys are very aggressive at times, especially on defense. They like getting the puck. They like creating scoring opportunities. They didn't appear too aggressive, and they were waiting for their turn, and they really did have a lot of opportunities in that first period.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like we said, I think if Wisconsin wants to play a little better today, I think they need to emphasize more of the build-up plan. I think they need to minimize the amount that they shoot from a distance. Just they need to be patient. They need to let things build up a bit, which, strangely enough, that's been an issue for Michigan in the past this season. Not really the case today.
Completely agree with you here, Vihaan, as we're just about underway here in the second period for Michigan against Wisconsin. In the second period, Michigan will be moving right to left from our vantage point. Wisconsin obviously left to right. Wisconsin in their full red uniforms. Michigan white tops, blue pants. As we have a face-off here, and Wisconsin will win it. That's Latch, who was able to retain possession for Wisconsin, but Barczewski gets it right back behind his goal. And Michigan has a 2-on-1 scoring opportunity. Gavin Brindley has Frank Nazar, but there was a really nice dive save there by the Wisconsin defenseman, Anthony Kerr, and he really prevented a strong chance there by Nazar. Lucius moving in now, but Gavin Brindley is able to poke it away from him, and Rucker McGroarty has it right back. Frank Nazar back to McGroarty, has a wide open chance, and Gavin Brindley just misses. Great save by Kyle McClellan, as Gavin Brindley, it looked like, had a wide open scoring opportunity early on here in the second period. Michigan, though, still has the puck. Jacob Truscott has it for the Wolverines. Simon Tassi, though, is checking him against the board. And finally, Dexheimer comes up with the puck for Wisconsin.
Yeah, and just before we took our little break, I mentioned the explosiveness of the Brindley-McCroarty duo. There it is on display.
Fantastic right away. As Shifsky has another chance, he tries to get it on net, and that goes off the left post and just ricochets off. Garrett Shifsky almost with his second goal of the night in just over a period. But Wisconsin comes up with the puck, clears it, and the Wolverines will do it all over again here. Dylan Duke trying to get it to Shifsky. Gets deflected, though, off of Strammel. And Ethan Edwards retreats for the puck before he gets checked against the boards. Shot on net opportunity for Wisconsin, but misses wide. That was Carson Bantle. And Garrett Shifsky just lets it trickle all the way against the boards behind Kyle McClellan. And Michigan will have a full line change here with just under 2 minutes to start the second period.
Real quick, I want to point out Garrett Shifsky as a shooter. I really like him as a shooter because I feel like he's quite smart. I think he'll attempt a lot of tricks. I think he'll attempt a lot of ricochets, a lot of softer, less powerful shots that just seem to find their way in. I think it's an interesting shot technique as opposed to the pure power you will see from a lot of players on this team.
Schultz gets it to Bantle for the Badgers along the right side of the boards before the Wolverines take it right back. Marshall Warren gets it to Luca Fantilli. Mark Estapa tries to touch it but cannot, but Josh Ernessy is there to prevent the icing call on the Wolverines. Earnesty now sending it into Estapa behind the net. Estapa tries to backhand it, now goes forehand and has a really good shot opportunity there against Kyle McClellan before Wisconsin clears the puck for just a second. Puck now goes out of play off of the Wolverines, and we will have another face-off. 17-15 left here in the second period.
Yeah, and I think you see a couple of early face-offs. I think just a couple of jitters. Again, both teams really trying to be aggressive. I think even Michigan, you saw them coming out blazing, taking those like longer range shots. I think both teams definitely want to like set it's more about setting a precedent than it is about actually trying to score, just kind of trying to unnerve their opponent. It's very psychological.
Completely agree with that as well, Vihaan. As we have a misfire here on the faceoff. David Sila against Keenan Draper. Sila will win the faceoff. Get it to Daniel Latch, who just sends it all the way down. Tyler Duke is there for the Wolverines. Matthew Day St. Fall is trying to put some pressure on Duke, but Duke is able to move all the way in the left side, turning it around the boards to McClellan, who gets it back for the Badgers. Nice defense by Michigan for just a second, but Lucius is right there. Sila moving in left side, gets right around Seamus Casey, who has a scoring opportunity and just misses right. Oh my gosh, David Sila with a beautiful stick work there, gets a wide open opportunity and just waits a second too late on Barcheski, which goes off the post wide. What a chance there for Wisconsin. Wisconsin once again, Fitzgerald moving in left side. Barcheski is able to cover it up though as Fitzgerald goes flying into the boards. Ethan Edwards just driving him down, and we're gonna get a stoppage of play here at 16-16.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the more harsher challenges you'll see either team make so far today.
So another face-off here in the Michigan defensive zone. Michigan will win the face-off, sending it out.
Yeah, and just looking at the replay, I feel like that was a little excessive on Michigan's part.
As Michigan tries to get the puck back, McGroarty sending it right back out, but Dexheimer is there for the Badgers. Trying to get to Fitzgerald, but McGroarty takes it right back, tries to find Frank Nazar, and Nazar is just unable to control the puck. Nazar, though, putting on a lot of pressure on Dexheimer, forcing him to do a few things with that puck before he can really get a hold on it. Tassi now moving in for the Badgers, but he's met with 4 Wolverine defenders, and Michigan trying to go the other way with it before they get it away now to Wisconsin and get it right back. Ethan Edwards moving in right side. He's seeing what he wants to do with the puck. Tries to send it out to Tyler Duke. Sorry, that's Dylan Duke, but he cannot. Wolverines trying to move it all, the Badgers trying to move it all the way inside. Carson Bantle takes a quick shot on Barcheski, which is quickly stopped. That is Barcheski's 15th save of the night. He's perfect to Wisconsin's 16 shots on goal. We're going to stoppage of play here, 15-20. You're really seeing Michigan forcing Wisconsin on the perimeter. They're not really getting a chance to make many scoring opportunities right inside on Barcheski. They're taking wide shots, low percentage shots, and that is why Barcheski actually has 16 saves now on the night. Shifsky now moving in the left side. He stops himself for a second, tries to get it out to Luca Fantilli, but he misses wide, and that puck goes all the way back to the Wolverine zone. Barcheski is there. He has to make a quick move with it as Wisconsin put a lot of pressure on Michigan there, and now Wisconsin has the puck inside the offensive zone for themselves. Quick shot on Barcheski, but that goes wide. Back out now for another one of the Badgers, as I believe Daniel Latch tried to take a quick wrister there, and he just misses. Nice defensive play by Luca Fantilli, and Wisconsin has to retreat. Anthony Kerr has it now, trying to get it to Scholl, and that just goes all the way to the back, does not touch Scholl's stick, and we're getting an icing call here at 14:30.
Yeah, and I want to say about Michigan's defense, I think in a lot of ways it feels like a bit of a trap for Wisconsin simply because of the space that they allow them to operate, but just find a way to neutralize that space. I think there's just a lot of I'd say it's a dead zone where they're free to move, but at the same time they're not free to actually generate anything that could result in a scoring play.
Marcus Stoppa and Padletichuk take the face-off. Padletichuk wins another face-off. Wisconsin is really taking control of these face-offs. The one area they're really dominating Wolverines tonight. As there is some fighting going on down the boards until Tyler Duke tries to send it inside of Marcus Stoppa in the offensive zone. Latches there, though, for the Badgers. To Whitelaw. Whitelaw trying to get it to Scholl, who sends it into the forecheck. So Quinn Finley, but Marcus Stoppa takes it right back for the Wolverines. Stoppa tries to get a shot on net, but that goes flying off a defender's stick. Ethan Edwards now has it for the Wolverines before he just hands it back to Dexheimer of the Badgers in the Badgers defensive zone. Scholl hitting it off to Whitelaw before he gets checked by Keenan Draper against the boards. Tanner Rowe now moving in for the Wolverines. Looks for Keenan Draper, left side, tries to backhand it, and finally Kyle McClellan covers it up right as I believe Tanner Rowe was going to try to go in there for the second chance opportunity.
Yeah, and I think one thing Wisconsin have done is I think they've adjusted a little bit, and I think they've had more of the puck. They're keeping more of the puck in Michigan's half, but at the same time, they're not able to capitalize it yet, and you have to wonder, I think it's Michigan effectively trapping them in that range where they're free to operate, but also everything that they do is neutralized.
I agree, as David Sila wins another face-off. He has been near perfect tonight for the Badgers in the circle. Sila getting it now down to Matthew De St. Paul. De St. Paul tries a shot on net, but that gets deflected by a Wolverine defender. Wisconsin had another fast break opportunity. Vorlicki now has it for the Badgers in his own zone before they just try to tip it in as Jacob Truscott is there for the Wolverines. Misfire there by Michigan. Quick shot on net. That actually was a really nice opportunity there by, I believe, Kerr of the Badgers. But it goes wide left, and now the Wolverines have it back once again. Rucker McGroarty just able to poke the puck into the Wisconsin zone, and Michigan has a line change. Luca Fantilli going back and forth now with Quinn Finley. Wolverines trap one of the Wisconsin players in the corner. Just gets two shots off. Finley is right there in the middle trying to get a third and cannot. Wolverines doing a great job of trapping, and now we have a little bit of a tussle between Tassi and Shifsky, so they're going to stop play here, and we're going to get a face-off at 12:04 here in the second period.
Yeah, and I think if there's one thing you could take note of in the second period, it's been a lot more physical. You've seen a lot more face-offs, and I think you're starting to see a Wisconsin team that's becoming a little more desperate with the space that the Wolverines have given them to operate.
Definitely. So we get a face-off in the center circle here. Lundmark with Marcus Stoppa. Stoppa wins the face-off, but gets it right back to Dexheimer before he gets checked by Stoppa against the boards. Ernest just trying to retreat with the puck for a second. Wolverines now trying to find Philip Lapointe by the blue line, and Philip Lapointe has to send it back to the other blue line to Tyler Duke before he's met with a Wisconsin defender. Wisconsin trying to really put a lot of pressure on, but Seamus Casey's weaving his way in. He has Josh Ernesti on the left side, quick shot, and that's saved for a second by Kyle McClellan. Lapointe trying to get another shot opportunity. There's another shot by Marcus Stoppa and just goes over the net. 3 chances by the Wolverines. Tyler Duke trying to get another shot on goal. Marcus Stoppa with the tip in, and that goes wide. There are 3 sticks on the ground right now, and finally Wisconsin is able to get the puck for a second, but Tyler Duke, left side, finally, once again to Kyle McClellan for their 4th shot in this one possession, and Kyle McClellan finally covers the puck here with 11:13 left, as a lot of bodies are on the ice and flew around in that one offensive possession right there.
Yeah, and that's probably the most agile, I'd say it's the best play that you've seen McClellan be made to make today, because, again, the Wolverines, yeah, they're outshooting the Badgers 20-17, but at the same time, it doesn't always feel like there's been constant pressure from the Wolverines, especially not in this period where Wisconsin has been allowed to have their way with the puck.
Probably the best shot of that whole possession there was by Marcus Stoppa right in front of Kyle McClellan. It got deflected, I believe, and just barely went over the net, but that would have been a free goal if it was not touched. Badgers fortunate there. Jacob Truscott wins the faceoff for the Wolverines. Garrett Shifsky has it. Slap shot by Truscott right into the chest of Kyle McClellan. That one definitely had a lot of power on it by Jacob Truscott. We're going to get another faceoff here in the Wisconsin zone. Michigan now leading in shots, 21-17. Also lead in the scoring column, 1-0. The one area Wisconsin's been very dominant in has been faceoffs, even though the Wolverines did win it there. Truscott just trying to send it into the left-hand corner before the Badgers take control of the puck for a second. Finley pokes it inside the zone. Barcheski tries to get around to, I believe, Luca Fantilli. Ethan Edwards is there as well. Finley now fighting against the boards by Edwards. Dylan Duke now sending Simon Tassi to the ice as well, and Ethan Edwards loses his helmets. They're going to stop play there for him. Do not want a scary injury to Ethan Edwards. Just came back from injury. One of the leaders on this team. Alternate captain. Definitely feeling his presence tonight with the amount of defensive plays he's made.
Yeah, and I just want to comment on how the Wolverines have managed to neutralize some of the more lethal scorers on this Wisconsin team. You have players like David Cilia, like Mateo Di St. Phal, like Owen Lindmark, just players who you would have heard a lot from who are 15 to 20 point scorers, anonymous tonight. And I think it really goes to show that Wolverines defensive game plan has worked perfectly. Yes, obviously you still have Cruz Lucius, who's been quite a headache for the Michigan defense at points, but at the same time, it just hasn't built in anything.
Yeah, Cruz Lucius, definitely one of those guys on Wisconsin's been flying around the ice tonight, but really hasn't been able to do that much. As we get an icing call here on the Wolverines, so as we get a face-off in the Wolverine zone, we're going to go right back there and do it once again. 10:27 left here in the second period.
Yeah, and I think, Wisconsin is winning the face-off battle, and I think Michigan at this point haven't done much to build on the lead. I would think at least forcing a penalty on Wisconsin end would be something they should look to do.
We can see if they do that right here as Keenan Draper wins a face-off against Tyson Dick. Tanner Rowe has the puck for the Wolverines. It gets to Marshall Warren trying to find Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer loses his stick, though, as Latch did not let Moldenhauer get up and find his stick. Wolverine fans not happy with that one. Nonetheless, we're going to just keep playing here. Barcheski tries to get along the boards. That actually hits the referee, so it stops in its tracks. Dexheimer looking for his teammate to Dick. Dexheimer with another shot, trying to get it around Moldenhauer. And actually, if they were to call a high sticking here on Dexheimer, I believe Dexheimer was trying to shoot it over Moldenhauer and was unsuccessful. Raises his stick for another shot. Stick almost hits Moldenhauer's head. And they're going to stop play here for a second. Unclear if they're going to review this or not. But we get a stoppage nonetheless at 9:48 left here in the second period. What did you see from that, Vihaan?
From the second period as a whole?
From that specific play there with Dexheimer on Moldenhauer, top of the zone, trying to shoot it twice over Moldenhauer and almost hitting him in the head with his stick.
Yeah, and I think it's a good example of how Michigan functions as a pretty versatile two-way team. I think I also want to call attention to a move earlier in the match that reflected something similar, where Brindley himself had a nice block, a nice little bit of defensive play. And I think while the Wolverines are more of an attacking team by specialization, by Narato's philosophy, I think that does extend in some extent to having their attackers be a little more confrontational, a little better at just getting the puck away, a little better at those takeaways.
I agree. So seeing what's happening right here, they're going to call no penalty on Dexheimer, so we're just going to get a face-off here right outside of the Wolverines' blue line. So still all-man advantage here by both teams, full strength. Lundmark up against Frank Nazar for the face-off. Lundmark wins the face-off for a second, but Nazar takes it right back. Nazar now moving inside the blue line of Wisconsin. Tries to find a teammate. Gavin Brindley now moving around the back of the boards. He sees Seamus Casey top of the zone, moves one side, tries to get a deflection, but it just hits Rutger McGroarty in the stomach. Cannot get a deflection on that. Lundmark now trying to get it inside to the Wolverine zone. Jack Horbach there as well. But Michigan has great defensive work. Rutger McGroarty hits him in the stomach again, but this time a defensive play. And when Frank Nazar tries to tip it into Seamus Casey, we get a stoppage here. Kyle McClellan covers it up at 9:16.
Yeah, and there's been a considerable less amount of icing here than you saw in the Michigan Stonehill clash a few weeks ago, and I think that reflects that neither of these teams are conservative to the extent they're trying to get the puck away. I think both of them want control of the puck at all times. That's why they're going to be very hesitant to give it away.
So we got a face-off here. Wolverines offensive zone. Marcus Stappa against David Sila. Sila has been near perfect tonight in the face-off category. And he wins another one for a second before Truscott is there for cleanup duty for the Wolverines. Vorlicki then has it for a second for the Badgers. Truscott tries to keep it in. Day St. Fall, though, comes back with it to Lucius. And Day St. Fall has a scoring opportunity. Who's moving in left side? Quick shot there by Sila, and that goes wide. Lucius fighting with LaPointe, trying to get to Ethan Edwards. Edwards checked along the boards. Lucius moving in right side now on Barcheski before, I believe, Josh Ernessy is there for cleanup duty, trying to get it outside of the zone, which he does successfully. And Wisconsin will have to retreat to not force an icing call. Michigan full line change here, and I believe that will be an icing call now on the Wolverines.
And seemingly, I just mentioned that both teams are careful to avoid icing calls, and there you have one. I think it's been a fairly nervy second period. I really don't see much dominance on either team's end. I think both teams are a little frustrated. I think at this point, maybe Michigan, as I said earlier, is hoping that something will go their way soon.
Two fantastic teams here in the Big Ten going right at each other. So Michigan 5th, Wisconsin 1st. Shot there by Fitzgerald of the Badgers, but it gets blocked by LaPointe. Ernessy trying to get the puck past the blue line, which she does successfully. Kyle McClellan is there back for the Badgers. And Dylan Duke tries to intercept that pass, but he cannot, and that puck goes all the way back to Luca Fantilli behind Barcheski now. 8:04 left here in the second period. Marshall Warren moving in left side, trying to get inside to Garrett Shifsky. Garrett Shifsky, many great scoring opportunities tonight. They count that a shot on goal. Garrett Shifsky now 3 shots, 1 goal for the Wolverines. Michigan now leading the shot category 23-18. As we get some checking along the boards here. Rowe and TJ Hughes for the Wolverines. Marshall Warren tried to let the puck go past him. That was a mistake as Whitelaw tries to go inside. He hits the deck, and they don't call a penalty there. Luca Fantilli just getting it to Rowe. Rowe moving in right side now past the blue line. He sends it behind to himself to Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer moves inside. Backhand shot. That tips off the leg of Kyle McClellan. Another shot there by Rowe, but he misses his stick pretty much completely, and now Wisconsin's going to go the other way with it. Sawyer Scholl trying to get inside of Barcheski. He makes the save and then gets hit afterwards. So some Wolverine players not happy about that again. Jacob Barcheski 19 saves through this one already, 6:56 left in the second period. He's putting on a fantastic performance tonight. On the other side, though, Kyle McClellan, we mentioned that goal in the first period. Since he's been perfect, before he's been perfect, he has 23 saves on 24 shots tonight for Wisconsin. Michigan wins the faceoff in its own zone. Gavin Brindley trying to move inside, but Latch is right there for Wisconsin. Seamus Casey, though, able to make some good defensive plays to prevent Wisconsin from a fast break opportunity. Michigan will send it all the way down now to Kyle McClellan, who's able to make an easy save and gets it to his teammates. Lindmark to Carson Bantle. Back to Lindmark, and Barczewski loses his stick. Barczewski does not have a stick right now. And Michigan purposefully tries to ice the puck. Kyle McClellan, though, does not let that happen. Frank Nazar tries to let it down. Frank Nazar gets to the goal and he scores! Frank Nazar! Oh my gosh!
And like I said, Michigan they'll look complacent at points. They'll look like they're losing control of the game, and then they will just absolutely murder you on the transition.
Frank Nazar with one of the best plays I have seen in a long time. He drops the puck right in front of Kyle McClellan. The puck was just supposed to get cleared, and he drops it, takes one shot blocked, a second one right behind Kyle McClellan, top right corner, right in front of his face, and he gets a goal in the scoring column. Michigan leads 2-0, 6:11 left here in the second period.
And that was gutsy. I really like that move to just go for the puck with your hands when you're right in front of goal.
Beautiful, beautiful play there by Frank Nazar, really coming in his own this season. Drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks, finds himself on the first line this season, and he has been stellar. Barczewski covers the puck, and then the net actually falls off its post. We get a stoppage of play here. Frank Nazar, if I'm not mistaken, Nazar has 3 shots on goal tonight. One of them was a score. That was his 11th goal of the season, 27th point. So Nazar and Shifsky both coming into the night with 10 goals, each notch another one, and tie themselves for 4th in the scoring column in goals scored this year for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and I think you can note that both scored off unconventional shots that weren't particularly powerful, but that came off just a little bit of trickery, a little bit of deception, just a quick deflection. I think it just really goes to show how, yes, you have those power scorers on Michigan, you have those guys who really use their physicality, but at the same time, you have that bit of improvisation that makes them so dangerous in attack.
Josh Ernessy just absolutely checked the Wisconsin player. That's going to be number 18, Owen Lindmark.
Yeah, and
we're going to stoppage here. Sorry, Vihaan.
Yeah, and Owen Lindmark is a grad student forward, has 18 points, one of the better players on this Wisconsin team.
He's been held in check tonight.
Absolutely, yes. As has most of this Wisconsin offense, which has 7 players with 15 points or more.
So we just have a brief stoppage here. We have the referees looking at a possible penalty. I was saying Josh Ernessy checked what appeared to be Owen Lindmark. It actually was Ben Dexheimer against the boards. So we're seeing the referees view this play right in front of our eyes, right below us, to see if there's a possible penalty for cross-checking. So hold right there. Referees, headsets coming off. Let's listen to the call. if they will give us one, which actually they will not. So it must be no penalty on Michigan. So we have a face-off, which the Wolverines do win. Tyler Duke now has a puck left side, trying to get it to his brother Dylan Duke, who cannot control the puck. And Wisconsin gets it out of the zone. Lucius just sends it into the forecheck for Michigan to recover.
Yeah, and maybe Michigan got a little lucky there, but at the same time, I think the officiating in this game has been fairly live and let live. There haven't been too many aggressive challenges in the first place, but at the same time, neither has much been called. I think the game has just sort of played out on its own terms.
I completely agree. Not many penalties being called. Referees really letting both teams play, and they've been very aggressive taking that liberty. 4:41 left here in the second period. Wolverines do lead 2-0 off of the goals by Frank Nazar and Garrett Shifsky. Michigan leading in the shot category now 26-20. So after that first period, they were down 11-7 in that shot category. They have really taken control on the offensive side of the puck tonight and have been piling it on against Kyle McClellan, the goaltender for the Badgers. Got another stoppage of play here. Another face-off in the Wolverines zone. 4:19 left. Both teams also do have a line change. Once again, Wolverines really trying to stay energetic, high stamina, not too many guys staying on the ice for too long tonight. You're really seeing full line changes very consistently for the Wolverines. Dexheimer now has it for the Badgers to Scholl. Scholl, quick shot. That gets blocked, though, by a few Wolverine defenders. Wisconsin gets it right back, though. Dexheimer once again trying to get it inside. Barczewski has to find it for a second, and he's able to make a nice glove save right as he gets hit by a Badger. Badger right in front of him was Tyson Dick, and Dick hit the deck right as Barczewski made a nice glove save. Both teams making another line change. 4:03 left here in the second period.
Yeah, and Michigan killed one penalty efficiently in the first period. It remains to be seen if they can do the same.
Yep, I see that now. Tyler Duke going to the penalty box. So Wolverines will be on another penalty kill here in the second period. We've only had 2 penalties called tonight, both against the Wolverines. See if Wisconsin can make this a one-score game. Lucius now has it for the Badgers. To Sila. Back to Dexheimer. Now to Lucius. Sending it around the ice now to Lucius. Dexheimer top of the zone. Quick slap shot by Lucius. Nice save there by Barczewski. Wolverines get a good clear there. 1:30 left in the power play. Wisconsin trying to make something happen, but Frank Nazar tries to jump the pass for a second, forcing Wisconsin to retreat again, killing another 10 seconds off the power play. Dexheimer gets around Keenan Draper, but it's taken right back by Frank Nazar. Nazar just sends it right back into the zone. 30 seconds killed right there before Wisconsin can even get it out of its own blue line. Dexheimer crossing center line. Try to get into Bantle, but he cannot. Draper, another really good clear. 52 seconds left on the power play. Michigan does a full line change as Kyle McClellan patiently waits to hand it off to his teammate.
Yeah, and I think you'll notice again, just a lot of very close individual coverage while leaving those spaces open for Michigan, even as they defend on this power play. I think, yes, they're a team that drops back, but at the same time, they've liked to let Wisconsin have their space once in a while. I think they're confident that they can kill that use of space.
I agree. Joe Padletichuk gets it in now for Wisconsin, finally crossing the Wolverine blue line. 14 seconds left on the power play. One-timer shot by Wisconsin. Nice save there by Barczewski. That was Simon Tassi on the shot. Wolverines clear one more time. 3, 2, 1. Penalty killed once again. Michigan successful on both penalty kills tonight. Michigan hasn't had a chance on the power play just yet, but they do also have 22 minutes left to play here. As Whitelaw has it now for the Badgers. He gets checked by Marshall Warren. Barczewski has to be careful with his net coming off of its post once again. He's able to make sure it's in steady condition. Wisconsin has to move back inside the Wolverine zone one time, 2 times, and now a 3rd time before just sending it up and away for TJ Hughes to retain for the Wolverines. Hughes has it now, sending it all the way from left side to right. 1:17 now left in the second period. Dick moves inside, trying to get it to Whitelaw, who takes a quick shot. That goes wide. Rucker McGroarty has a one-on-one opportunity, trying to get around one guy, trying to get around Latch, I should say. Get it to Moldenhauer now as Wisconsin retreats. 1 minute left now in the second period. Both teams trying to pick up some steam here. And we get a stoppage as Josh Ernessy loses his stick. And now we're going to get the first power play here against Wisconsin. So they're going to call Scholl for slashing here with 54 seconds left in the second period. So the Wolverines will get a power play here at the end of the second period into the beginning of the third period.
Yeah, and I think if there's one thing Michigan could have done slightly better today, I think it's really using TJ Hughes. He's had a quiet game by his own standards, hasn't really gotten too involved.
Definitely can see a lot of these guys getting involved. TJ Hughes 0 shots tonight, so you're right. No points, no shots for Hughes. As Wisconsin gets a very early clear, winning the faceoff. Barczewski has the puck now. Tries to send it to Gavin Brindley. Back to Seamus Casey, now back to Gavin Brindley. 37 seconds left. Wolverines now have the puck passing its own blue line, now passing the center line and passing the Wisconsin blue line. TJ Hughes has it, top of the zone, trying to get it to Seamus Casey, which he does. Casey, Hughes, other side now to McGroarty, trying to get inside, he scores! Dylan Duke from Rucker McGroarty. And oh my gosh, the Wolverines are moving fantastically tonight. Passing the puck with ease, and Dylan Duke on the deflection right in front of Kyle McClellan with the 3rd goal of the night for the Wolverines. 21 seconds left here in the second period.
Yeah, and I think the common thread that you could see with the Wolverines here is just how quickly those attacks come to fruition. There is build-up play, but the build-up play is just executed so quickly that you think it's just a flash in the pan. But that is the magic of this Wolverines team in transition.
Dylan Duke perfectly placed himself right in front of Kyle McClellan, and as Rucker McGroarty sent it right inside, perfectly deflected by Duke, and sends it into the back of the net. Kyle McClellan, as we said at the top of the broadcast, Vihaan, 1.67 goals allowed per game. Wolverines score 3 on him through two periods.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think, McClellan is a fantastic goalkeeper. He has been powerless against these shots simply because they don't necessarily come out of buildups. They come quickly.
18 seconds left here in the second period now. Wolverines a commanding 3-0 lead on the number 3 team in the country in the Wisconsin Badgers. Michigan 14th ranked. And as we said a little bit ago, Michigan 5th in the standings in the Big Ten, Wisconsin 1st. So winning one here tonight would definitely be really key at the last stretch of the hockey season before the Big Ten tournament. Want to mention, as we get to the end of the second period here, the horn sounds that Dylan Duke goal was on the power play. So Vihaan, you said Michigan with a fantastic power play team this season. They've been amazing, very efficient. They get another one on their one chance so far tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, efficiency has been the name of the game for Michigan. I know it's strange to say when they've taken 27 shots and scored goals off 3 of them, but I would like to mention the fact that there aren't too many shots from distance for Michigan. This is a team that's patient, but they're so quick in their buildups that they don't seem patient. It's just so expertly executed, so well timed.
That second period, we saw 2 goals by the Wolverines, one by Frank Nazar, one by Dylan Duke. I want to say that Dylan Duke goal was assisted by Rucker McGroarty. McGroarty leads the nation in points per game with 1.82 coming in tonight, and assists per game, 1.29 per game as well. So he's going to add to that total, getting another assist here tonight. Over on that second period, Vihaan, we really didn't see a lot of action for a lot of it, and then we saw Michigan get really aggressive. What did you see from them that made it so successful?
Yeah, and I want to just pay attention, take note of McGroarty's assist. He doesn't turn. He doesn't change position at all. He's just immediately ready. It's just that first touch is insane. Just the way he doesn't even take time to control the puck. Just right away he knows exactly where it's going. I think it's borderline telepathic, and I think it really emphasizes a lot of the ways that Michigan move. They're so good in the transition on the attack that they just know what they just have a feel for where the puck is going. They plan for everything. They know the space that they're working in, which is why they're confident giving Wisconsin that space to operate in, because they know it. They've got it figured out.
On this Michigan team, so many guys have a shot on goal tonight. Of all the guys that have played, only 4 players have not gotten a shot on goal tonight. So that is a lot of guys getting a lot of shots up. That's why you have 27 shots through 2 periods. And Kyle McClellan, we were saying, one of the best goaltenders in the nation. He has 6 shutouts this season, including one just a few games ago. They have had an 11-game unbeaten streak, 10-game win streak, and then most recently tying against Lindenwood. But now tonight, Michigan really being able to find the back of the net against McClellan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it does come down to the fact that they let McClellan get comfortable. They let him stay caught off guard because they don't necessarily push all of their members right into the net. They have, say, there's maybe one player just about like outside left corner of the net, and then they use that. Then they use the space a lot. And I think it's that false complacency that I think has characterized a lot of Michigan's approach, just kind of lulling Wisconsin to being more comfortable than they should be. But even a team like Wisconsin, a team this good, shouldn't be caught off guard like that. And I think it leaves you to wonder, did maybe they underestimate the Wolverines?
I agree. I just want to mention, though, for all of our viewers, this Michigan team has not been able to maintain a lot of leads. It is 3-0 right now. We have seen this a lot this season. This Michigan team is very good, but the one thing they haven't been great at is maintaining those leads. We said at the top of the broadcast, Michigan blowing a lead last week. I believe it was 3 goals against Michigan State.
Yes, it was 4-1 in the second period.
4-1 in the second period, going into the third period, and Michigan loses that game 7-5. Last time Michigan played Wisconsin, Michigan was winning 4-2 through the second period, and they also ended up losing that game 5-4 against the Badgers. They were swept by the Badgers in that series in Wisconsin as well. So yes, this 3-goal lead is great. Michigan has not lost this season when they were leading after the first period, but it is good to keep in mind that they have blown leads before. So Vihaan, I want to ask you, what does Michigan need to do to not blow this lead going into the third period? What is going to be their strength this last period?
I think it's time to lock down. I think it's time to really start closing those gaps. Like, yes, your strategy of letting Wisconsin have a bit of space to play and then neutralizing that space has worked, but at the same time, Wisconsin may get more and more comfortable. They may figure out how to operate within those corners that Michigan has sort of given them, and I think that could potentially build in the scoring play. So I think you need to be marking them a lot more closely, and you need to be playing significantly more narrow. I
agree as well. I really think Michigan has done a great job of following up shots with second chance, third chance opportunities. Frank Nazar's goal, second chance opportunity. Garrett Shifsky was following a guy that it got deflected off of, and he was in the right place in the right time. So crowding the net, not just getting complacent, as you just said, and being like, okay, one guy's going to go and take the shot. No. If all the guys are in the center ice, all the guys are right in front of the goal, you're going to have the highest chance of probability of scoring, and you've seen the success rate tonight. 2 of those 3 goals were at the right place, right time, doing some cleanup duty there.
Absolutely, yes. And I think the Wolverines can make it better they need to play a lot more close together. I think, yes, a big part of the success of this team is Naruto sort of giving these players with different tool sets the freedom to do what they want. But at the same time, I think there needs to be some level of coordination that, at the moment, I think they've sort of sacrificed in terms of team individual brilliance. I think it's time to just get close, close off those spaces, and just, box out the goal.
Well, Vihaan, it was great doing these first 2 periods with you. I'm going to hop off and let my counterpart, Eddie Olenichek, take the third period with you, Vihaan. We're just going to take a 5-minute break right here to catch our breaths. You all do the same. And we're going to be back for some third period Michigan hockey right here on WCBN Sports. For Vihaan, Easwar, my name is Jake Singer. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the house. We are returning for our intermission. I'm Vihaan Easwar, and joining us for the first time on the call is Eddie Olajniczek. Eddie, I'm sure you're very excited to be here. It's been a great matchup so far for Michigan. What have you seen here that you like from Michigan? And what do you think that they need to do to hold on to this victory and close out?
Yeah, Michigan has just come out completely different firing. They've been going out very strong in the offensive zone, which is not used to this team. We usually control center ice instead of the offensive zone. So definitely something good to see here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Michigan, like I emphasized, Michigan has been excellent in transition, and I think that's been the thing that's been the most important for them so far. It hasn't really been a game of controlled puck movement because I think both of these teams are too good to just surrender possession for long periods of time. There's a lot of back and forth going on, but I think the difference is Michigan take their chances when they have them and are able to quickly build things up, whereas Wisconsin have been a little less patient, and it's cost them in several areas quite significantly.
Yeah, Wolverines is just kind of having a good night here. Wisconsin, they're probably going to put 1 or 2 on the board.
Yeah, and we are about 30 seconds away from the end of intermission and from the third period. Live from Chrysler Center, WCBN Sports bringing you the third period of this Big Ten hockey clash. Number 14 Michigan versus number 3 Wisconsin. I'm Vihaan Easwar with Eddie Olajniczek. That was Jake Singer, and we are just about back. 20 seconds left as now significant changes for either side, simply a rotation of lines. We have Casey, Brindley, Nazar, McGordy, and Duke on the ice. And as we proceed to face off, it's going to be Nazar versus David Cilia, and we are back as Wisconsin's going to win the first face-off of the evening. They're going to send that all the way back. It's going to be safely cleared out to Barzewski. He's going to tip it aside to Wisconsin, who do get a stick to it, but is going to be whistled offsides.
Yeah, it looked like a quick high stick there that went to the offside, so something to look out for. Michigan coming out strong on the defensive side, holding off that push by Wisconsin Badgers.
And it's going to be Nazar versus Cilia for the face-off. That face-off is going to go Wisconsin's way, which has been a recurring theme of this match. Wisconsin doing just a tad better in the face-off game, as they're going to hold on to the puck from back. It looked like McGroarty had gotten the stick to it, but Wisconsin had recovered in time, and now it's heading back to Brindley, playing off McGroarty. McGroarty trying to play it all the way back, but it's going to head back safely for a Wisconsin clearance. As he's going against the boards, Dylan Duke tries to put up some pressure. Actually manages to break up the push from the back for Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's still sort of comfortable holding on to the puck in this given moment, as Michigan managed to regain possession. TJ Hughes is going to send that all the way back out. I think at the moment it's just kind of about disrupting their flow, as Finley of Wisconsin was going to pick that up for a nice one, but still neither side has quite built anything out yet, as Hughes is going to spar for the puck on the other side. Yep, sorry, that was... As now we have Finley dumping out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald with a nice shot, comfortably saved by Jake Barzewski.
Badgers is really pushing forward here. Big night by Barzewski here. A lot of good stops. Moving in that crease very well back inside the side. So his transfer here has definitely been a positive for the Wolverines this entire season. I think that's why we're still a ranked team at this moment.
Absolutely. It's going to be Marcus Tapa versus Owen Lindmark for the faceoff. Lindmark is going to win it, as Wisconsin in dangerous position in the Wolverines' half, but the Wolverines are able to get the pressure on that to sort of dispose of that attack. They're going to get a shot off, but it's going to slide away harmlessly, as Wisconsin continue to try and build something that's going to be Horbach bringing it way out back. He's going to try and take a shot. It's deflected just a bit. Lindmark getting off to Bantle. Bantle's going to shoot. It's going to be saved by Barzewski, but it's going to be deflected and scored by Wisconsin. 3-1, as it looks as though that was... My apologies. There was a bit of conclusion close to that, but that is going to be Wisconsin's first goal of the match. 3-1.
Yeah. A little unfortunate there for the Wolverines, but just that's how Wisconsin plays their style and game type. They get some lucky breaks here, and they come back in the third period. And a team that wins well going into the third definitely has some problems for other teams right now.
As we are going to face off again, it's going to be Draper versus, I believe that is going to be Draper versus Tyson Dick for the return face off, as Wisconsin's going to get it off, but it seems to be blown off. Looks as we're going to redo the face off. Exact same parties. Wisconsin wins yet another face off. They're going to send it way out to the side. They're just going to try and get that away, as still neither side really building control of it. As Rowe. As Wisconsin playing it from the back. Rowe tries to make the check, but it's unsuccessful. Wisconsin's still able to get it away. Draper gets it off to Tyler Duke. Duke loses possession. Scholl, as it looks as though we're going to have another offsides call going Michigan's way.
Wolverines definitely went into that locker room in the intermission there, and their head coach, Brandon Dorado, definitely was yelling at them, saying, we got to play some good defense here, hold this lead. Michigan known for giving up some leads late in the games. Tonight, maybe it is a good change of pace for them here, where they can hold a 3-1 lead and win this game.
Yeah, as there was another face-off. This one went Michigan's way, as Edwards plays it out to Truscott. Truscott tries to get it into safety, as Edwards in decent fall. Spar for it. Wisconsin playing close to the boards. Very cagey so far, as Brindley and and Plotachuk kind of fight forward on the sides a bit. Michigan now in the recovery. Nazar bringing it out from the back, looking for someone to hand it off to. Nazar still taking it, still going to take it himself. Nazar going to take it all the way around to the back. He's waiting for someone. Nazar does not find anyone. It bounces harmlessly off to the side, as Wisconsin are going to send it all the way to the back. As Wisconsin playing out to the side. Fantilli and Finley are going to spar a bit there. Nice bit of physicality from Fantilli. It's going to be TJ Hughes spars for it. Hughes is going to lose his battle against Simone Tassi. As Schultz is going to shoot from distance. Finley tries to get a stick to it. Little dangerous there, but luckily Edwards and Brzezowski managed to get a hold of it. Michigan sending it back up now. Hughes tries to shoot for it. Does not quite have the angle for that to go anywhere. Fitzgerald plays it out to Tassi. Tassi cuts right. Dumps it off to Bantle. Bantle tries to shoot, and it's deflected by Brzezowski. Very weak shot there. As Wisconsin out on the right, playing it all the way back. It's going to go back to Brzezowski. Brzezowski to Casey. Casey dumps it off to Mark Estapa. Estapa taking it all the way down the right-hand side. But he's going to get deflected there. It's going to be recovered off the far left by LaPont. As Jacob Truscott tries to send it into the left. Wisconsin still playing from the back. Lindmark out left. Lindmark trying to play it into the center for Delafal, but it's going to be saved by Brzezowski. Quite timely. Michigan really boxes in the defense over there. Does really something that they need to do as this game gets a little more cagey, a little more tense.
Yeah, Vihaan, we talked about it earlier, and kind of the same game plan. Wolverines need to stay strong on the neutral ice and defensive side, and then kind of bring it up through the zone and get some good clears like they did on this last possession here, and hopefully hold on and maintain here. And the Badgers are not putting up any stopping here for their fight.
As Nazar and Dick are going to face off. This one goes Michigan's way. Brindley from the right, playing it to Nazar in the center. Off to McGroarty on the left. McGroarty going to send it back into Nazar. Going to end up falling into McCollum's hands as it's falling to Casey in the back. Casey from the right, skirting all the way around. Casey sends it to Nazar, and Nazar scores! Michigan get that goal that they needed after Wisconsin put that point on the board to make them feel a little tense. Yet another example of quick breakaway transition play as Nazar is going to put Michigan on the board for the fourth time this evening. Michigan 4, Wisconsin 1.
Yeah, Michigan getting that crucial goal there, keeping themselves up, and Nazar and Casey have just been having the last 3 series that they've played in great games, hard in the offensive zone and defensive zone, stepping up for some mistakes by their teammates. So definitely a bright spot here for the Wolverines team.
As Estapa and Cilia return to the center for the faceoff. Michigan 4, Wisconsin 1. As Edwards plays it out to Casey. Casey loses it on the right side to Lucius. Lucius playing it into the left. Lucius making Brzezowski do a little bit of work there, but it's gotten out. Still Wisconsin, still Schultz. Schultz tries to play it to Cilia. Schultz on the recovery, but he's really being given a hard time by Casey and Edwards. No recovery from Michigan, though. It's still Wisconsin. Cilia playing out to the side, playing out to Mike Borlicki, captain, as that attack is not going to go anywhere for Wisconsin.
Edwards a little shaken up on the play there. Got a puck up high off the netting, but Wolverines keeping that pressure up in the defensive zone. Got 2 key clears in the last 3 possessions, so something to keep an eye on, getting it into that neutral ice and moving forward with some strong pushes back on the offensive side.
Right, as you're going to see a face-off between TJ Hughes and number 13, Christian Fitzgerald. A clash of number 13s. As Latsky's going to take a wild shot that's going to end up being deflected and harmlessly bouncing into the upper net.
A lot of good shot blocking by the Wolverines tonight. Been a strong suit here on the defensive side of the puck for them.
Absolutely, yes. As Hughes and Fitzgerald, a clash of the number 13s. An unlucky number, but one of their teams will be lucky tonight, as Michigan are the lucky ones. As it falls back to Truscott. Briefly to Finley, but Duke on the recovery. Hughes with a nice spin around for create a bit of confusion. Hughes on the recovery, managing to get it all the way back down. Loses control of the puck, but still manages to force Wisconsin into the boards. As it's falling back to Michigan's half. Marshall Warren wins the duel. It's back to TJ Hughes. As it looks as though we're going to have a foul. It looks as though that may be a penalty for one by Christian Fitzgerald on, I believe that is Marshall Warren. Now that was, in fact, that was number 17, Garrett Shifsky. As the children of Yost do not like that, as Michigan are going to have a chance to kill their third penalty of the game, or Wisconsin are going to have a chance to put themselves back up in it with their second goal.
Garrett Shifsky there was just kind of trying to get around and get back to the bench. And stick got caught up high with him and threw a punch over at the head and got called for the penalty there.
As Estapa and Sawyer are going to take the face-off. Wisconsin come out on top of the face-off. Wisconsin create a bit of pressure. Michigan really does a lot to kind of box them out. Just really wraps Barzewski around, sort of creates a shield for him as they managed to kill 15 seconds of the penalty already. Barzewski was looking to play through to Brindley, but it was picked off by Cilia. As Wisconsin still looking. Dexheimer to Cilia, to Bentel. Bentel keeping it real close there, but Michigan still managing to get that pressure on. Duke taking it off Bentel. It's gonna go to the boards. It's going to go all the way back as Wisconsin are going to have to try and restart their attack anew. 1 minute 14 left in the penalty.
I'm very impressed with this penalty kill as of lately from the Wolverines.
Absolutely, yes. As Finley charging down the left. Finley looking for Fitzgerald. Finds Fitzgerald a little deeper than he wanted to. Fitzgerald back to Tassie. And Tassie was going to find Lindmark, but it was picked off in the process by the Wolverines as Josh Ernestie's now bringing the puck down to Wisconsin territory. It looks as though we have a stick loss on Wisconsin.
Yeah, number 14 for Wisconsin, I believe, going to the box.
As we have 46 seconds left in the penalty on Shifsky. As you said, Eddie, so far very impressive from Michigan to kill this much time.
Yeah. Wolverines getting a lucky break there. Ernestine on that breakaway kind of got a stick in between the skates and got the lucky call. No fall, but got the tripping call. Shocked there wasn't really a penalty shot there for, kind of being on a breakaway and trying to avoid the goal, but just a normal 2-minute minor for him.
As it's going to be Frank Nazar taking the face-off versus William Whitelaw. Another face-off that's going to go Wisconsin's way, but they're still having to build from the back. As Edwards and Scholl fighting for it on that far left-hand side. Recovered by Whitelaw. Shot gotten off by Whitelaw, blocked by Barzewski. Edwards, lots of space to operate on the left. Dumps it to the side to Truscott. Truscott's going to send it all the way back. It's going to be recovered by Wisconsin. As Whitelaw's going to glide all the way down. Duke tries to play it off to Nazar. Nazar to Casey. Casey playing in the other half. Brindley on the right. Brindley playing it back in. Brindley's going to find Hughes in the center. Hughes is going to find McGroarty, I believe, on the left. But that attack is going to fizzle out. McGroarty going to do a lot of work to get all the way back down to the other half. Try and get it out as Brindley sweeps around to receive the puck from him. Cutting right, cutting back into the center. Hands it off to Hughes. Recovered by Casey. Casey looking from the outside. Loses control there. Truscott is there to help him, but in the process, a bit of the attack momentum was lost. As puck is going to slide back. Casey at the back. It's a Brindley. Brindley charging all the way to center. Dump off from the left to Hughes. Barzewski playing it off to, I believe that was Edwards. LaPointe from the far right. LaPointe is going to lose the puck.
Very good penalty kill here by the Wisconsin Badgers.
Absolutely, yes, yes. As Michigan really aren't able to create anything on that penalty kill as Marshall Warren drives through the center and now pulls off to the right. Left, slides all the way to the back, losing it to Wisconsin. Fitzgerald and Ernest are going to go for it. Ernest gets the block off, recovered by Edwards. Edwards and Shifsky team up to retrieve the puck. It's recovered by LaPointe. LaPointe is going to try and find Ernest on the far right, but it's going to slide all the way back to Wisconsin. And Moldenauer is going to check Finley nicely for a good bit of defensive play as Michigan once again let the puck slide all the way to the back. They're going to send it all the way out to the side as Moldenauer gets on the receiving end of it. Moldenauer could have had a shot on goal if he managed to get enough space, but he really had to dive in and kind of make that charge happen, and it's just not going to play out. As Fantilli gets a rare attacking involvement, kind of tries and get a shot from far away. Nothing really comes of it as Wisconsin back in familiar territory for them as Kerner is going to go up against Fantilli for it. Fantilli's going to lose it. You see a bit of confusion there, but Barzewski makes a save just in time, barely keeping out the Badgers.
Yeah, all credit to Jacob Truscott there. He saved that goal behind his pads, and definitely a win for the Michigan defense right there, as you don't want to give up another goal going into this last 9-minute period. But Wolverines, good offensive pressure, but both sides, very impressive power plays and penalty kills there. A lot of shots given off. Goaltenders definitely the highlight of this matchup tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie, what else do you think? Michigan has been a little bit forced into defensive position so far in this half. I think Wisconsin have gotten a lot more attacks. I think now they're leading the shot game. They've got 36. Michigan are shooting 29. What do you think Michigan needs to sort of rev up the attacking spark once again?
Yeah, I think we're playing very conservative, thinking that we have the lead. I think we got to keep pushing into the offensive zone, not just dumping the puck from the blue line. If they do that, I think the Wolverines get a couple more shot attempts and a little bit more pressure and definitely keep themselves in this game and ahead in this game rather than falling back and playing on your heels in the defensive zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just once again, when Michigan do score, it comes often in very same fashion, which is quick breakaways on transition, almost too little time for commentators and fans like to react to it. And it just goes to show they really have an excellent fast break offense here.
Yeah, it's what we're known for, and Wisconsin's kind of been built around that as well. Both are known for these quick breaks, lucky shots that kind of just ring up in the upper corners of the goal. But let's see what the Badgers have for the last 9 minutes here, and if the Wolverines can fend them off. Yeah,
as Nazar and Cillier are going to face off in Michigan's half, as the face-off looked as though it was won by Michigan, but Wisconsin are once again going to get a chance to try and play out an attack. Really can't give the numbers Michigan have as Casey gets it off to Nazar, who gets it off to Brindley on his right side. Brindley's going to send it all the way out. It's going to be Nazar fighting all the way up top. As lots of back and forth going around as Wisconsin trying to build it out. Latch finds Lucius on his left side. Caught by I believe Lindmark, but not quite put in the position to score. It's going to be Michigan's puck.
Yeah, very easy save there for Barczewski.
Absolutely, yes.
Just going down low. This Wisconsin team is dangerous once they get below the point, and the Wolverines have done a great job of keeping them at the blue line the entire night. I mean, I believe 82% of their goals come from the point, and they're just a team that gets down in front of the goal and gets some lucky second bounces off of screens.
As bringing up face-off between Hughes and Scholl, which is won by Hughes. Sent back to Edwards. Edwards was looking for Shifsky on its right, but it's picked off by Latch. As Latch is going to play it all the way to his left side. Recovered by Edwards. Edwards sends it to Dylan Duke. As Duke is going to try and find someone all the way out back, but is going to succeed in pushing Wisconsin back a little further. As Shifsky close to goal. Hughes looked to get a looked like he could get a puck to it. The puck was floating his direction, but Wisconsin managed to box Michigan out. As there seems to be a bit of contact on there. Edwards might be asking for a foul. Wisconsin might also be asking for a foul.
Do not agree with the interference call there on Edwards. He was battling right at the blue line with one of the Wisconsin defensemen and was trying to get his stick back from him, and he thought he was getting the call for the Wolverines that his stick was knocked away. Instead, he gets interference for complaining.
As the latest penalty called on Michigan is going to bring them closer and closer to that 5-minute mark. As Estapa and Cilia face off. Looks as though the face-off is going to be awarded to Michigan, but they are going to redo it. As once again, doesn't seem to be a clear verdict. There's a bit of confusion, a bit of shouting going on here at Yost. As Estapa and Cilia face off yet again. This one goes to Wisconsin. As they managed to play that back to Dexheimer. Dexheimer from the center. Dexheimer fires on goal just while he goes off. Lucius tried to pick up on that, but at the same time it was deflected by Michigan as the puck slides back into Wisconsin half.
Great job there by Seamus Casey. Barczewski had no clue where it was, and it was sitting right in front of him. He fired it off the glass to get it out of the zone.
As Michigan so far have been made a little uncomfortable in this penalty kill, but not significantly so. Sylvia charging down the right side. Beaten off by Casey. As Wisconsin playing out from the right as Ben Dexheimer continues to find that right corner space that he likes to operate in, looking for something to build it into. Dexheimer from the center, playing out to Cilia on the right, goes to the back. Lucius to decent fall, as that's going to be a miss. Not really much he could have done to score from that range. Anyway, fair bit of play from Barczewski to sort of keep those shots out. Michigan have 1 minute left on the penalty. They've been made uncomfortable. They haven't necessarily been well at keeping the puck out on this penalty kill, but they haven't conceded just yet. And if they can outlast it, they will put Wisconsin in a precarious position as we come closer and closer to the end of the match. As the faceoff is going to be awarded to Wisconsin. Owen Lindmark plays it out to Plotachuk. Plotachuk looking for someone on his right. He finds Christian Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald tries to play it in the center. Fitzgerald. He was going to play it into Simone Tassi, but there's going to be that was going to be blocked by the goal itself. Sends the goal back a few paces. Michigan continue to defend on this penalty as we bring up 49 seconds left. 6:34 left in the period in the game.
Yeah, and it's not talked about enough. The addition of Warren to this defensive zone and just securing some wins for us. He's one of those big bodies that we can throw in the corner, and just the Wolverines have full trust in his abilities.
As the Wolverines are going to beat out the Badgers for a face-off, but the puck is going to be batted away and it's going to go out. Again, fairly conservative from Michigan so far, which I think is what you need to do when you're on a penalty kill and only holding a 3-goal lead against the best team in the Big Ten when you just suffered a similar loss last week at here in Ann Arbor against Michigan State.
Yeah, not only one of the best teams in the Big Ten, one of the best teams in the nation. This is a strong group of kids, and they've definitely come here to put on a fight for the Wolverines.
As Nazar and Cilia face off, the face-off is going to be won by the Wolverines. As they tried to get that through to Nazar, but Nazar can lose control as Wisconsin maintained the familiar sight of playing it out from the back. As Cilia charges in. Cilia looking to hand it off to someone, finds Dexheimer from behind. Dexheimer finds Lucius. Lucius back to Dexheimer. Dexheimer gets down on his knees. Lucius takes a slap shot, blocked aside by the Wolverines. Still Wisconsin's puck, but some of the momentum has been killed. Descent foul. Back to Lucius. Lucius back to Cilia. Cilia takes a weak shot that just sort of drifts wide right of the goal. As they find Dexheimer in the back. Dexheimer yet again trying to take a shot from the distance. Smartly blocked by Mark Draper and sent all the way back to the back of the ice by Ethan Edwards. As Edwards is going to find the back of the net. Edwards gets all the way back behind there, sort of maneuvers the puck away. He's going to put that back in. 5-1 Wolverines.
Yeah, and for the Wolverines here, great play there. Smart play by Seamus Casey down low to just shoot it up to Ethan Edwards right as he came out of the box as the penalty expired. And he got chased around behind the goal by a couple of Badgers, but he was able to poke it in from about 10 feet in front of the slot. And good for the Wolverines. Good momentum leading into tomorrow night's game as well. I know it's not over here yet, but if they blow a 5-1 lead, there's nothing more Michigan hockey than that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Very similar circumstance happened in the very first game of the season where they were leading 5-1 and very nearly lost to Providence at home. As Stramel is going to find Lindmark on his right. Lindmark is going to send it harmlessly out to the back. Edwards there to receive it. Edwards to Truscott. Truscott to Dylan Duke. Duke cuts diagonally to finds Moldenauer. Moldenauer chases after the puck, but it's going to be recovered by McClellan. Back to Hughes. As Wisconsin are going to try yet another attack. It's going to fall back to Hughes. Hughes is going to just chip it away, sort of clear that puck out of immediate danger. Smart little move from him there. As Wisconsin going to try and send that around the ice. Barchevsky to McGordy. McGordy was looking back at Gavin Brindley, trying to find him without looking, but ends up being picked off by Lotch. Lotch is going to be dispossessed as McGordy intercepts him, but still, key turnover for Michigan. Nice bit of speed there. Puck is going to go all the way back. Duke. Duke finds the punt. The punt finds Ernest. Ernest on the left. Ernest is going to try and chip it aside. Going to try to find someone there. This is going to be clear out to the back as TJ Hughes chases down Ben Dexheimer all the way at the back. And Edwards is going to find Truscott for a little bit of confusion there at the back, as that puck had some dangerous momentum that could have resulted in an own goal, but ultimately it's safely collected by Barzewski as Michigan continues to just take a few more seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and I'm loving the pace here by the Wolverines. They are playing to their game plan. They're running the puck into the offensive zone and definitely controlling the possession time here on ice. And not much more you can ask of the team that's up 4 goals and maintaining a lead.
Yes, absolutely. Great moves by Michigan to kill the momentum, even if it comes at the cost of hampering their own momentum, as Rowe is going to go up against Polachek and Horbach on left. He's going to lose, but the Badgers still kind of struggling to get it away from the boards. As nice little check from Ethan Edwards there to get the puck away from Bantle. It's recovered by Wisconsin, who bring it all the way from the back, but Jack Horbach was going to try and do something there, and he slips a little bit as the puck yet again drifts familiarly back into their own territory for Wisconsin. As closing in on the end of the period. Very quick moving period, not a lot of stops. As Lucius and Vantilli are going to go head-to-head on the left side. A little bit of a fight there. Looks like a stick has been snapped. We can't quite tell you whose it is. As Schultz is going to go up against Tyler Duke. Going to struggle there. Warren played out to the side. As Dylan Duke. As Hughes is going to try to find Moldenauer, but can't quite overcome Schultz, who's in his way. As Wisconsin, yet again, trying to play it out from the back. They're trying to play slow, they're trying to play patient, but they don't quite have the time to do that, as there's just about 2 minutes left on the clock. As Michigan are going to receive the puck for yet another clearance. As Casey is going to break up an attempted pass from Stromel to Fitzgerald, and McGordy is going to rebound with it. McGordy was looking for Brindley, but couldn't quite find Brindley, but he is able to find Duke, who manages to send it just all the way to the back, just as a nice little bit of clearance. As we have some action there on the sides, as Stramel's going up against it against McGordy and Brindley. I think I saw a couple of punches thrown there. As Casey going to try and get off a little shove there on Whitelaw, but not quite able to disrupt the Badgers just at the moment as Polachek plays it back as it's sent back Dexmeyer. Dexheimer to Polachek. Polachek was looking for number 11 for Simone Tassi there, but wasn't quite able to find him as the Wolverines just kind of got in there and intercepted that quite nicely as we are entering the final minute of play here as Michigan look to hold on to their 5-1 lead.
You mentioned it earlier. It couldn't go any better for the Wolverines. They're controlling the clock. The period is moving quickly. The only whistles we've really had is the 2 to 3 goals and 2 penalties, now 3.
And most teams would be comfortable with a 5-1 lead in the third period with a minute to go, but Michigan cannot afford to be quite comfortable in a season when they have struggled to hold on to leads at many points.
Yeah, and with the penalties right now, 1 on each side, Draper, and I cannot see the Wisconsin bench, Tassi, I believe it was, and both 2 minutes for roughing, so a little 4-on-4 hockey to end the night here with 1:03 left.
As we're going to have a face-off between Shifsky and I believe that was Owen Lindmark. Won by Wisconsin yet again as Horbach going to try a desperation slap shot that is pretty safely collected by Shifsky, who looks to find Ernest, but it's collected by Vorlicki. And Vorlicki was going to find Zach Schultz on his left as Michigan are just going to try and play clean position defense while they're on the penalty. There's just about 30 seconds left in this period as Wisconsin trying a couple of last-ditch attacking efforts as Michigan aren't really going to try and get after it. They know they've sent the puck down the other side. They're just going to let Wisconsin deal with the time in its own way because for them, they have nothing left to worry about on the day. The win is theirs. The children of Yost can feel it. We can feel it on the headsets. The players can feel it as they're going to try and break up one last attacking attempt by Lach. Lach's going to try and find Scholl, but he's going to find Fantilli and Barjewski right in his way. Michigan are going to get their sticks to the puck, and Marshall Warren is going to hold on to that for what looks to be the final series of the game, as Michigan have officially won this matchup 5-1. Unexpected, I'd say, a lot of people. You have the number 3 team that hasn't lost since November 24th, and Michigan not just beats them comfortably.
Yeah, very unexpected here from the Wolverines. Very welcome, though, for all the Children of Yost members, all the fans that packed the Yost Ice Arena today. But tomorrow night's going to be a big decider. This was a huge win, especially standings-wise and Big Ten ranking in the conference. Firing tomorrow night to another packed house here in Ann Arbor.
Absolutely, yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because this Michigan team has struggled with splitting series. They don't often get swept, but they seem to struggle to pull off the sweep. They will consistently win one game and then lose another in heartbreaking fashion. And Michigan has indeed shown that they can absolutely dominate against good teams like Wisconsin. In fact, they were outshot 43-31, but Michigan prevailed, scoring almost once every 6 shots.
Well, big night. I mean, I don't think these fans could have wished for anything more here. They're still cheering. It's pretty packed in here still, but tomorrow night is that deciding factor. Can you break the stigma of losing Saturday night games after winning Friday night as you have for the past season and a half?
And Eddie, I just want to know, which performance today really impressed you the most?
I think it's Seamus Casey down low. He's been something special. He doesn't get on the stat sheet much, but he's always in every scrum and in the corner in the defensive zone, making sure these Wolverines get the fast breaks and opportunities in the offensive pushes. Yeah,
absolutely. I think I've talked at length about Seamus Casey on these hockey broadcasts. He is probably my favorite player on the team to watch, simply because he really doesn't fit the traditional mold of a defenseman. Yes, he's capable of wrapping around with that breakaway speed and getting the puck out of danger, but at the same time, he's just such a dynamic attacking threat. I believe he leads the team in assists with 20, and he's just such a game-changer to have. Ethan Edwards plays a similar role, and he played it to perfection today with that goal that he got early in the fourth period that really started to put the finishing touches on this matchup for Michigan. Now, what do you think Michigan needs to do to sort of replicate this result tomorrow? Because I think if there's one thing that Michigan needs to do, I think they need to get TJ Hughes just a little bit more involved.
Yeah, he's one of the leaders on this team, and that's for a reason. I believe if they can control the neutral ice tomorrow and keep strong at the blue lines on each side, the Wolverines have a great chance. And I think you got to continue to beat them in shots. You kind of got lucky tonight, 43-31 in shots, but you got to have shots on net to beat a number 3 team in the country any time of the week.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And again, I think what we mentioned is that Wisconsin needed to improve the quality of its shots, and that was something they struggled with doing. And I think a lot of that comes down to Michigan's ability to box them out of the goal. But Wisconsin at the same time just continued their same system of slap shots that didn't get them anywhere initially, still wasn't getting them anywhere now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Wisconsin is definitely one of those teams that go down low and score, and they just weren't getting those opportunities today. If Michigan can keep that on the up and up, I mean, it should be a similar result tomorrow evening.
Yes, absolutely. Well, WCBN would like to thank you greatly for tuning in and just spending your Friday evening with us. We hope you all enjoyed our call of the game. A big Big Ten victory for Michigan. I'm Vihaan Easwar with Eddie Olajniczak. This has been Jake Singer, and we are going to leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.